We're going to be making banana cream pie in this video. Let's get into it. Starting off, you can use any style of pie crust. Well, homemade is preferable though. And how we're going to do this is we're going to poke the pie crust with a fork, give it a couple punchers. Just so... Oh, I broke it. So I made a mistake as the pie crust was still frozen and we are partly in a hurry to get this video made. So right now I've got my mother here just warming up the pie crust quickly, and then I'm going to do the poking part in a minute. So we're going to try again with the pie crust now. I already measured out my ingredients, so I'll show you those in a second. So I'm just going to poke little holes like that. Hopefully it doesn't crack this time. I'm going to try and stay away from the crack spot. You can see it right there. And so far I'm not having any problems of it cracking. So there we have all our holes made, so we'll leave it now. Alright, now that we got the holes punctured in our pie crust, we're going to put it in the oven for about 10 minutes. If I can get it out of the oven mitt, hopefully. And there we go. Let's slide it into place in there. Close up the oven door. And these are all our ingredients. So we've got about, I think it was a cup and a third of sugar. Third cup of sugar to be exact. Third cup of flour. We've got about a tablespoon of butter, I believe. We've got 1 teaspoon of salt, an 1/8 teaspoon, as shown here, but without my mother's arm getting in the way. And then we've got 1 liquid measuring cup of milk, 2 cups in the liquid measuring cup to be exact, and the eggs. We've got like about 4 of the egg yolks to be exact. 3 or 4. My bad, 2 egg yolks. I misjudged. I was concentrating when I was actually doing this, because they actually have a few recipes that use about 3 egg yolks, sometimes 4, but I actually use 2. So first up, you want to add your dry ingredients into a pot and stir with a whisk. So we're going to start with the flour. Just tap the excess off. I'll get our sugar in there next, and this should luckily just pour in. Just tap. And our salt. Now that they're all in, we're going to give it a little whisk. So we're going to turn it on to medium heat and add a quarter of milk. And then we're going to stir it constantly. So I'm going to pause the video here so I can concentrate a little bit. So now that that's going, we're going to stir it up, as shown here, using a little whisk. I'm going to have to pause the video as I'm most likely going to need to hold the pot while doing this. When making the custard, please keep in mind that you do not want the milk to boil. You just want it to bubble slightly, and this custard can obviously be hard to make, so just be aware of that. Yep. So as you can see, we now have the bubbles forming, so as you can tell, we're going to remove it from the heat now. So you can see where those bubbles are happening, and that's a complete chemical reaction there. Yeah. So now you're going to take the eggs and beat them with a fork. We're going to add a spoonful of our warm milk mixture into the egg yolk.
this keeps the eggs from scrambling.
So this will keep the eggs from scrambling.
And they will blend.
And it will kind of blend in and make it more kind of that yellow color that custard should be.
Do you want to add it now?
So now we're going to add our eggs slowly over to the pot in just a second. So slowly pour it in, don't pour it in too fast. As shown here. Now we're returning it to the heat and letting it bubble again. So as soon as it boils and bubbles, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla and some butter. Tablespoon of butter. So now we're going to add our ingredients in. So we're going to add the butter first, I believe. Only its problem is it's kind of sticking, so I might need to get a knife to scrape it off. So good thing I have this knife right here. Let's get our butter in there. Come on. And get the excess off. So there we go. There's the first half done. And then we're going to add our vanilla now. So I'm going to add the vanilla in with a little trick here. So I'm going to use the butter cup for this. Or the measuring cup of butter is what I mean to say. And take that top off. We're going to carefully measure it like so. So if it spills, there won't be excess getting in there. So there's our little spoon of vanilla, so let's add that in now. And now we're going to whisk. And remember, keep whisking. So now that this is done, we're going to add our banana slices into the pot. Or not the pot, the pie crust.
Maybe we want a little custard first.
So we added a little custard on the bottom, so let's add our bananas in now. So I'll show putting some of them in. I'm not going to show putting all of them in because that will take too long. And I have a good number of them in. I'm going to pause and put the rest in separately off camera. So just get a couple more in there and there we go. So right now I have my mother recording this, so she's been doing most of the recording here, so that way I can do some of the cooking. I mean, I was able to get the camera to stand on my own, but I did have my mother helping me hold the camera. So now we're going to let the custard sit in, and then we're going to take a metal spatula and just get the rest of it on there. Let's get all those bananas covered. Oh yeah, look at all that custard. So we'll pause here. So we're going to then smooth it out, and we'll be back tomorrow with part 2 showing the whipped cream being added on, because banana cream pie does need to sit in the fridge before you can eat it for about a day.